Animated is back with Transformers Legacy, and the first one to come back is the Cyber Ninja Prowl. He's looking almost like he did back in the original show, just with that slight hit of G1 accuracy that Legacy has loved doing with the Prime characters, but here it's not as egregious as it is with them, as you can actually tell where the design cues came from. Starting off in his bike mode, if we look straight at the bike mode, it shows there's a lot more gold than on the original. Because as we know, Prowl is a sleek black bike with just the hints of gold. But the fact that you can see right through him and there's a lot of gold exposed now due to the shoulder joint, doesn't look quite uniform black like the original. But it's something that I can look past just because I don't really display him in the bike mode. Like, it's a nice looking bike mode, but I prefer the robot mode. One of the main issues the bike mode does have though is with the kickstand, as it's not long enough to actually reach the ground, and it takes a little bit of messing with him to get it to sit on the ground properly. So what I do if I ever display him in bike mode is I move the back wheel slightly to the opposite direction of where the kickstand is. That way it makes it easier for him to sit down as there's a counterbalance to it. Otherwise just take a old gun and just prop him up with it. Moving on to the transformation, it's actually a lot like the original from what I've seen. As I never actually owned the original, I can't really say how much similar it is. But it does feel familiar from what I have seen. And just the way how the whole front comes up and folds back down and the way the legs work. It all feels like the original. And here we are in the robot mode, and wow, this just looks like Prowl. Prowl being one of my favourite characters to come out of animated, I'm so happy for him to look almost exactly like Prowl. Like, of course there's some G1 updates with the visor being squared off to fit in with the G1 style. And the fact that everything's a lot more blockier to fit in with that 80s aesthetic. But it just looks like Prowl. And one of the little things I do like is the fact that they've updated the sculpting to add these little bits of greebling. Like on the pants section, there's all these indents, and on the chest, there's some little bumps. And I even like the fact that they've updated his shoulders to add in the gold arrows. I don't exactly know what they're called, but I like them. It makes it fit in more with his whole police aesthetic. Like, sure, he's already got the ones on his sleeves, but I like them being on his shoulder. They're more centralized. The articulation on Prowl is a little underwhelming in the top section, then the second you move down to the lower half it's a lot better. So the head has full range up and a little bit down, some side to side and a swivel. His arms can go 90 up, which can get you some good range. He's got bicep swivels, about 90 at the elbow bend. Might be a little bit more, might just be a 90. I can't really tell just due to the way that the arms look. But he's got some hands that can point in. He has waist rotation and a joint that is actually something I like to see on a lot more figures. He actually has an ab crunch. And if you untransform his chest just a little bit, you can get a deep ab crunch. Then you can fake it to make it look like it's just a normal ab crunch while doing it. His legs are a bit of a weird case to me. The thigh or hip joints are pretty much unimpeded, going every direction. He's got a thigh swivel, about a little more than a 90 at the knee joint, but then he's got a shin joint. This is due to transformation, but you can get it to go in with the knee bend and get an even deeper knee bend. It feels a bit weird, but it's a part of the posability that makes it so you can pose a bit better. And then he's got ball jointed feet, so they can pose pretty much any way you want. Something his figure has that I really love is his gimmick. If you go down to his shins, you can pop out these gold discs, and they actually turn into his weapons with a cheeky little conversion that is actually lifted from the original prowl. Now, only one of his hands is molded to actually hold the weapon, but that's just so he's not locked into only his accessories. But hey, putting these together, you can get some amazing pictures that I just had to take some, because why couldn't I? This has been the review for Legacy Evolution Animated Universe Prowl. That's a mouthful. Tell me in the comments, do you like the fact that we're getting animated figures again? I mean, for now we've only got Prowl, and you could technically count Bulkhead if you see it the way I do with an animated look. So, tell me what you think. Thanks for watching.